everybody, welcome back to the Super Network YouTube channel. I'm Super Marcey. Of course, please check us out at supermarcey.com, and also you can sign up to our Patreon at patreon.com/thesupernetwork for lots of awesome exclusives and early access. So I am back with another installment of the Movies That Make Marcey. I think I've confused myself with the title a little bit, but it's the Movies That Make Marcey. And this week I actually did a Twitter poll as I was undecided on what film I wanted to cover next, and this one actually won the poll. So the film I'm going to talk about today is Alice in Wonderland from 1985. It was a TV miniseries, I believe. It had 2 parts. It was about 3 hours all up, and it is a live action version of Alice in Wonderland. So going back, I believe I saw this when it was on TV and I had the video cassette of it. So I was about 3 when I first saw it, and I used to watch it like pretty much all the time then onwards. There is actual video footage of me, I believe it was my 4th birthday, and no, it is not getting shared, forget about it. Yeah, my 4th birthday, and my sister is interviewing me and she asked what my name is, and I said it's Alice in Wonderland. So you can see I've always kind of identified with Alice, and I do have some Alice in Wonderland tattoos, which I can't really show you. I'll see if I can find a photo to add to the video. They're at the back there. So Alice in Wonderland has obviously been a massive influence and part of my life, and that started with this film. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who probably have never heard of this, did not know this existed. And that's okay, because it was on TV and I saw it obviously, you know, very close to when it came out. So that's why obviously I know the movie, and I can understand why people wouldn't know the movie. I do have the DVD somewhere. I remember I was waiting for this to get like a release of some kind, and eventually I saw it, and I think I ordered it off Amazon. And it's like just in one like 3-hour block. So this film is actually an adaptation of both the Alice stories, which just makes me love it even more. And if you've seen the Disney version, that combines like both books, and it is quite different because they kind of like, yeah, tell the story but then add elements from the second book, and you know, it's not even an hour and a half, I don't think. And I've probably actually seen this version more than the Disney version, which probably isn't a surprise, let's say. But yeah, I quite liked that it did adapt both stories, and it does it quite well. And I have read both the Alice books. I have a book version that has both in the same one. I've read that several times, so I have like a deep connection to it. So just a little bit more info on this version of Alice. I have my iPad because I cannot remember all these details off the top of my head. It was directed by Harry Harris. Screenplay by Paul Zindel, obviously based on the Lewis Carroll books. Natalie Gregory plays Alice. Sheila Allen plays Mother. Cherie Gregory, sister. Red Buttons, the White Rabbit. Sherman Hemsley, Mouse. Donald O'Connor, the Lory Bird. Charles Doherty, the Duck. Shelley Winters, the Dodo Bird. Billy Braver as the Eaglet. Scott Baio as Pat the Pig. Ernie F. Forsati, Bill the Lizard. Sammy Davis Jr. as the Caterpillar and Father William. Who else is in? It's got an insanely amazing cast. Telly Savalas as the Cheshire Cat. Roddy McDowell as the March Hare. There's another amazing one. Well, there's actually several more. Ringo Starr, the Mock Turtle. I think possibly my favorite is Carol Channing as the White Queen. She's brilliant. And Gillian is the Red Queen. Patrick Cullerton. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep like messing up names. I'm so bad at it. Patrick Cullerton, the Red Queen. The Red King. Harvey Korman, the White King. Sally Struthers, Tiger Lily. Patrick Duffy, the Goat. Steve Allen, the Gentleman in Paper Suit. Pat Morita, the Horse. And I could probably still go into more. It even has Ernest Borgnine as the Lion. Beau Bridges as the Unicorn. Lloyd Bridges as the White Knight. And John Stamos as the Messenger. So yeah, quite a lot of very famous faces, particularly for that time period, are in this movie, and they do sing. It is a musical. It is followed by quite a lot of musical numbers that I really enjoy them a lot. It's so hard to kind of describe the movie without like showing it, I guess. But it does have that structure of kind of the part 1 and the part 2. So part 2 is very much like the second book. And we even get like the Jabberwocky. And as a kid, that used to freak me out quite a lot. And it is actually like a really, really cool kind of dragon design. I mean, obviously like the effects are not the best, but I still think that design is actually really, really good. And as kind of the, I guess, bridge between part 1 and part 2, where Alice, I'm trying to remember, she sees it like through the mirror. These images had really stuck with me as a kid, and I think I used to like sort of do that make-believe play where I'm Alice, I'm getting chased by the Jabberwocky. This is so embarrassing to admit, but here I am. It's a movie that made me. So yeah, it was a massive part of my childhood, and that really transcended, particularly from that film being my introduction to Alice. It has gone through to obviously adulthood and to now. And I just think that was the power of something you see when you're at that age that really has that impact. And this is one of those things that had that kind of impact for me. And I probably watched this like every few days. My watches would probably be in like the 50s or 60s, even with how much I would watch it at that, 3, 4, 5-year-old age. And of course, stemming from that would come in another movie, which I will actually be doing a video on at some point, so I'll save that. But it had left that lasting impression where I kind of did see myself as Alice in a way, because you sort of see, when you first see Alice, she's very inquisitive, obviously. She goes down the rabbit hole, which has become, a big saying. And I guess that kind of comes back to me, as I'm someone who can easily fall down a rabbit hole, and I'll, be on Twitter for like hours going down a rabbit hole of some ridiculous story and trying to find out everything. So I guess it spoke to me in a way, even when I was very young, about having that inquisitive nature. So I probably really attribute this movie to that. I guess it helped me explore that side a lot more. And I guess I was also a child with a big imagination, and I think this movie like really kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of what is possible with your imagination. And being that I, love to write and I love to do art, that kind of really started back then with being able to have this imagination and really nurture it, that I could make up all kinds of stories. And the real sort of surrealistic nature of Alice, most of the iterations, is that it has amazing kind of visuals, and you see that from like the original illustrations to the Disney version to this and numerous others. And I think that really sort of opened my eyes to many possibilities and sort of adding so much color and vibrance and strangeness to my art. So I really, you know, contribute this movie to kind of really opening my eyes with that. And I apologize if I sound a little repetitive. It's just me off the cuff, no script, and I'm just letting my emotions tell the story. And, you know, that's pretty much something that this film really did to me. It kind of opened me up to be able to tell my stories. And yeah, that I think is the influence and the power that this film has on me. And I haven't seen it for quite a few years, but it's still something that is really like near and dear to me. And I will probably watch it again at some point and enjoy the cheesiness of it. I mean, it is kind of cheesy, but I just think it's so wonderful. Like the costumes, they really sort of went into such effort to have these amazing costumes where it is a person done up like as whatever creature or, you know, whatever character they are. And I adored that. I absolutely loved the red and the white queen. They were just amazing. I freaking love them. And Carol Channing, oh my god, I loved her in this. This was probably like my introduction to her, to be honest. And I loved those scenes like so much. And I have fond memories of, you know, painting the roses and the weird like pig baby and Alice, you know, it says eat me or drink me and she'll go and do it. Which I think I kind of took that as a cautionary tale. As, you know, just because you see a piece of food doesn't mean you should be eating it because you don't know what it's there for. So it's a decent message, but, you know, I have fond memories of these things happening, these moments in the movie, and they've just, you know, really stuck with me. So while people might think this is a strange one to kind of been like something that's really made me who I am, it really did. And again, it's probably a surprise it's not actually the Disney version, but this one, the more unknown one. And I guess kind of growing up, you end up seeing a lot of those more unknown things because they come up on TV or, you know, whatnot. Or you find something weird at the video store. Remember those? That were cool. So yeah, that is my little talk about Alice in Wonderland from 1985, the TV miniseries that helped make me who I am today. And I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to it, my waffling on and rambling. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Super Network YouTube channel. And you can always find everything you need to know at supermarcey.com, but we would love some subscriptions, and definitely check out the Super Podcast and all of our other podcasts, which include the To Be Tuesdays podcast, the King Zone podcast, and Podcasters of Horror. So keep an eye out on all those podcasts. We have lots of awesome things coming up, so you should enjoy, hopefully. And I'll be back soon with another movie that makes Marcey. Bye.